Hey Strike Eagle fans, Naso is back with you, doing another video, and today we're going to have a little bit of fun with some surface attack tactics mission. It's not a full opposed set. I'm going to do some of that later, but this is a low-level strike against SA2. What I really want to show you primarily is the use of terrain masking to hide yourself from the threat, and then use an Old Skool CBU-87 to take out a SAM site. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off out of Nellis. We're going to basically fly medium altitude over Creech. We'll drop down low altitude outside the threat ring. We're going to go into a SA2 mez and then do a loft with CBU-87s with a possible follow-up attack with CBU-87s again doing a CDIP attack once we kill the radar and the threat is no longer able to shoot at us. We'll go in and clean up the rest of the stuff. So what I really want to show you is we'll jump into the mission airborne, so I don't bore you with all the ground admin ops. But we'll start low level. We'll do some terrain masking. What you can see here is I've already built in a mapping leg, so I can map the target with the HRM radar. And then so what it means is I'm going to be low level in the mez, but I'm going to have to climb to unmask. Because there's a lot of terrain around the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to climb just high enough to where I can start getting radar returns on the site so I can look over this ridge line right here. And then once I've got a good map, I'm going to dive back down to low level so I can do my final targeting. And then I'll turn inbound to do a loft attack. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the airplane. Okay, so we're in the jet now. We're just passing over top Creech at 10,000, about to drop down to low level. So we're just on the very edge of the threat rings, and the whole key here is to get low so we can ingress without being seen or at least getting shot at.
Low altitude, low altitude.
So the whole key here is to use the terrain to your best of your ability, trying to stay as low as possible.
Low altitude, low altitude.
So what you can see is as I cross over the ridge line, I'm going to use positive G's
altitude
to pull the airplane back down.
Pull up.
Rather than ballooning over the ridge.
Low altitude.
Oh, shut up, Betty. Looking for little saddles in the ridge lines to stay low.
Low altitude.
Doing good ridge crossing, looking for saddles.
Low altitude. Low altitude.
So now we're going to pass over a long, flat, dry lake bed, so we want to hunker down as low as possible here. So far, the 2s is clean. Nothing on the RWR. We saw some SA2s in search.
Low altitude. Low altitude.
As we were up at a high altitude before we dropped down, but we've basically effectively dropped off the radar. So about 8 miles to the mapping leg. So we'll do a little dog leg right, and then start climbing for the map. But in the meantime, we're going to stay down here and hunker down. Stay as low as possible, just in case there's any man pads or other threats that we didn't plan for. Holy shit! There's a power line. That'll get your attention. Guess I should have done some better route study as I planned this. Anyway, getting back down to low level, you can see on the TSD we're coming up on our map leg. One thing I really want to highlight here is I like to preset my radar up before I do it so I'm not wasting time. So you can see just before I turn to the leg, I'm going to go ahead and get into the RBM. I'm going to go ahead and get my map display window already queued up to 5 point, which is my target. That way, once I turn and I climb, all I have to do is squeeze the map off, and I don't have to fumble around with it while I'm up exposed to the threat. So that's really important. So quick stepping through, setting my map up, getting everything set, setting it for a 3-3 map. That way all I have to do is fly the jet and then everything is ready to go. So that's a good use of your time. Okay, turning right for the map leg. And the key here is we want to start climbing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the returns. Notice I'm in a big shadow right now, so we're not high enough, so I basically have to keep climbing. Once I start seeing returns over the target triangle, then I know that I can start squeezing the map off, and here we go. So that should be good. So there goes the map. Now notice I've already got returns, so I don't need to climb any higher, so I'm going to level off here. I've frozen it in a 3.3. I'm going to change over to multi-look 2. I can already see the radar scintillation from the rotators. I'm going to go down to a 6.7 because I already know that I'm in the right area, and squeeze that last map off. All right, and I've got the final thing frozen. I'm getting mud indications from the SA2s. You can see the circle 2. I don't need to do anything yet until I get back down to low altitude, and then once I do, I'll start doing my my final map targeting stuff. There's no point in trying to do all that while you're up high and getting shot at. And see, now that I'm back down to low level, I can do my final designation and everything else is good to go while there's a lot lower stress. So notice I exposed myself for a very short amount of time to get that map, and then I dive right back down to low level so I'm not exposed. So right now, 2's looking good. Turn into my final target attack, again using my terrain as best I can to mask. 8 miles out from the target, looking for the low spots in the saddles, and this should be my last ridge line to cross before I start seeing the target area. What I don't want to do is I don't want to balloon over this ridge line and expose myself for a long amount of time. So let's get right back down, stay low, and get ready for the pull. There's the Loft Q, pulling up the ASL. Bombs are gone. And turning left for the egress. Trying to get back down to low altitude as quickly as possible. You can see the target should be right off the edge of that pad. So hopefully we did a good loft and got some weapons on target. Boom, boom. Looks like a nice weapons effects. So again, not going to spend a lot of time admiring my work, trying to get down to low altitude just in case something's still alive and that can shoot at me. So I'm going to use terrain to my best of my ability until I know what's left and what is able to shoot back at me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to arc around the target area using terrain masking and see if I can do another attack with the remainder of my CBUs. So the radar should be dead now. So both the search radar and the fan song should now be dead. So even if there's any tells alive, they can't really shoot at me unless it's optical stuff. And I'm going to again try to minimize the exposure. You can see the target area is right here. So let's go target direct. Looks like stuff is still dying as I go. Yep, 2's is still clean. I'm not getting any kind of mud indications. So let's go ahead and set up for a CDIP Pop on the target area. In command of the HUD, I'm using HOTAS to get into CDIP. Pulling up for the Pop Attack. And rolling in. Here we go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to clean up any of the tells or anything that's left over. I'm going to set my aim off distance with the flight path marker beyond the target, so we have a good stabilized attack as we go. Looks like there's a couple live tells there. Safe escape maneuver, and let's see if we kill some more stuff. Boom! That looks like we cleaned up the rest of the site pretty nicely. Again, whole key here is get low, get fast, get out of the area, use terrain masking as best as you can, and get the hell out of Dodge. So that's about the most I ever want to expose myself to a SAM site. Do your primary target, attack, minimum exposure. If you think that you've killed the radars,
Low altitude. Low altitude.
go in and clean up with a CDIP attack as a technique only, and then run, because once you start the hornet's nest, lots of stuff is going to start coming your way. So you don't really want to hang around. So get low, find a valley to get out of the target area, get below all the radars, make it a lot harder for any air threats to come find you, and get home. All right, guys, that's it. That's my DEAD attack, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Looks like lots of good dead stuff. All right, Natso's out, and we'll do some more advanced stuff with some opposed sat down the road. I'll even do some BSA, basic surface attacks, so you can see some range procedures. But we'll just have some fun with some of the videos. All right, Natso's out. We'll talk to you guys later.